So this is our first go around a test of a live feed for very boring investing advice. One of the websites that's a part of the More Better Media LLC family that I have at Conversation Project, or the Conversation Project is part of. More Better Media LLC is obviously the bigger part of it. And we don't even know where this is going to go, how long it's going to go. I have essentially no followers on the channel, so I expect no one to be watching it. It says one in my viewing because I have to my right a copy of it running on another laptop here. But this is going to be just a rundown of what we produced for today, and you'll talk about the today's market action and the stocks it had there. So very boring investment advice is found online at veryboringinvestmentadvice.com. Because I'm bad with the forwarding, it goes to the main website link, which is very boring investment advice / more better media company.com. But very boring investingadvice.com will get you to the website. This is it towards the left side of here. On the right, we have Robinhood. We'll explain why we're using Robinhood in a second. But on the left-hand side, this is the website, a little bit blown up, and it's very boring, very basic. We had some other accoutrements, had some pictures and things, but we just wanted to get you simple advice. Now, let's go start off with the disclaimer. And it's hard for me to read because I'm not wearing my glasses. But as the disclaimer says, content provided by Very Boring Investment Advice, including but not limited to blogs, podcasts, videos, and other materials, is for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be and should not be considered financial, investment, tax, or legal advice. We are not financial advisors, and the information shared represents our opinions and research, which may not suit your specific financial situation. Any investments involving risk, including the potential loss of principal, past performance, does not guarantee future results. There's a period between principal and past performance, of course. Before making any investment decisions, please consult with your licensed financial advisor or other qualified professional who can consider your unique financial situation's objections. Very boring investment advice assumes no responsibility or liability for any errors, inaccuracies, or omissions in the content provided. All investments are made at your own risk, so stay informed, do your own research, and remember, boring can be smart, but it's always your call. That is our disclaimer for the website there. I'll let you know what's going on with us, so you know that I am not a finance investor professional. I'm just a dude who likes to look at stocks and play with money and see what's going on. These things here are being basically built with the research doing from our own private investing, for my pocket investing, if you will, which I use Robinhood for to do that investment. One app, one place to hold on to it. My main investment stuff, such as my IRAs and things like that, are done by professionals who actually keep an eye on things going forward. But for the day-to-day stock trades that I do on my own, I'm not a day trader, but if you understand what's going on, this is done through the Robinhood app, and Robinhood is our main sponsor for all things here. Essentially, our number one sponsor. We do have links for affiliates going back and forth, but if you go to our website, veryboringinvestmentadvice.com/Robinhood, you get a chance to join in and use their app and get a bit of a surprise for yourself. Veryboringinvestmentadvice.com/Robinhood. Click on the link there for the affiliate link to Robinhood, the app. Now, they still provide for you a free stock once you sign up for it, but we get a small commission if you sign up for using the app as well. You sign up for it, you put in some money, you buy a stock, we get a small commission back from them for getting people into the market. And the best thing about Robinhood is not only do you control your own money, your own finances, buying crypto, buying stocks, buying ETFs, buying on futures and very, very expensive things and very advanced things, you get as much research as you want to. They are putting so many things in the back end, including with Robinhood Gold, which allows you to earn more money on your savings and do more higher investing things. Check it out at thisisaconversationproject.com/Robinhood. You've heard all about it. Now, if now's your time to get into investing with Robinhood, use our link and we will get a small commission to get you in here. Now, Robinhood is our main sponsor for all things, so we talk about it a lot. In fact, that's why on the right-hand screen, you see Robinhood there. NASDAQ, the stock is there, not NASDAQ, the actual market, because we can figure that part out to get the market up there. So, just drinking cold coffee to keep hydrated. So, back to the main front of the website. That's the dashboard. Back to home. What we provided for you today were 3 newsletters, or 3 postings to the blog, and 2 newsletters to have every day. Every morning, weekday morning, I should say, we have 6 stocks to watch. So we had that for 6/5/2025 for this morning. This morning, 6 stops happen to be Taiwan Chi Limited, YMB Labs Therapeutics, also Lithia Motors, Harte Hanks Incorporated, Hawaiian Electric Industries Incorporated, and Harbor One Bank Corp Incorporated. You see right there. Go to the website and see what's there. Those were the stocks we've just picked. I'm going to say at random. They're not always at random. They're usually based off of one or two stocks that are there taking our attention. Then we have a big list of over 5,000, almost 6,000 stocks to choose from that we just shuffle every day, pick one to start from, and pick 6 to go into for these stocks. So it's not always massive research. These are stocks that tend to be something to look into. And these are just things to put it on your radar, as is listed in the description. Stocks that may not be on your radar, stocks that you may not know anything about, but stocks that may interest you in buying them to get more pieces to diversify your portfolio, or maybe you could learn more about them in the sectors to tell you something about the sectors you're into. And these are mainly stocks because there's 6 of them. Most of them you may not have heard of. Very often we'll pick 1 or 2 that are in the news of the day and keep them in flow, especially if it's something from the day prior for market action. But these are 6 stocks that provide for you at about 7:20 a.m. that you can get either by checking out our website, or you can check by joining the new email newsletter, which there should be a link here. We'll get a link for the newsletter here as well. It's a direct link, so you can get this in your inbox at 7:20 a.m. So you have 6 stocks to look for throughout the day. We also provide for you on Tuesdays and Thursdays a blog post. Tuesdays, it's usually investing advice. On Thursdays, using savings advice. This week, it's why today is a great day to start investing, even if yesterday was better. This is a short-ish article. The Tuesdays articles are longer for investing, but this is a short article. It talks about why investing is good for you. It's the best time to invest something, just like best time to plant a tree. It was probably 10 years ago. Otherwise, do it now so you don't miss out on anything going forward. This explains some great ways to figure out how to make investing something to put into your daily life now, and explain how you would have got more returns in the past, but you can get returns going into the future right now without losing much going forward. And at approximately 3:30 in the afternoon every single day, the markets close at 3 o'clock my time, 3 o'clock Eastern time, Central time, I should say. So at about 3:30 Central time, 4:30 on the East Coast, when the markets close at 4 o'clock, we give you today's market action. And this is a breakdown of the stock markets for the day. We're going to go through this one today and talk about it, because we're going to go with this one a bit in detail. So we have a today at the glance, which is basically a wrap up of how things worked off. And today, after about noon Eastern time or so, Donald Trump and Elon Musk started a social media beef, because Trump was on Truth Social and Musk was on Twitter, sniping back and forth, which turned into essentially all the newscasts, all the news people, all the breaking news stories, all the cable news, essentially just waiting for tweets to go back and forth and watching for Trump to talk about stuff in this whole back and forth. Tesla stock had some issues with it as well, and some of the things sort of went up and down going forward. Also talked about in the day was the favorable talk between President Trump and China's President Xi Jinping, although no deals were made, but a phone call led to a meeting coming soon, which means things should get better there. Every day we get you the performance for each of the markets, each performance from the indexes: S&P, Dow Jones Industrial, and the NASDAQ. They're right there. I'm not wearing good glasses, so I can't really see very well. Let's see how this is going to go. New glasses coming very soon, so hopefully I can actually see the screen, because these are 3 years old glasses. I've just kept not getting prescriptions. Hopefully the new ones will be better. Now we talk about the gainers, the losers, and active traders, 3 of each sector. And they may be ones that are the top of the list, or it's ones that are top by percentage because the algorithms decided this is what we're talking about. They're not necessarily all the big time names. They just are what they are. Dollar Tree is one of them. We're going to go ahead and look at Dollar Tree. And it's graph for today. Dollar Tree rose about 9.1% to close at 96.67 officially. Right now, after my hours, it's 96.29 here on Robinhood. And you can see outperforming competitors during the generally negative trading session. Dollar Tree, the dollar stores in general are having their issues these days, as everyone is. Most of the things you find at a Dollar Tree, the reason why they're so cheap is that they are repackages of knockoffs from China. So they were cheap to begin with, and the repackages or direct stuff from those places, which means it's easier to sell them for a little bit less. With everything costing more, Dollar Tree has its issues, and Dollar Tree at this point in time is eating some costs. Now we know most of the dollar stores, such as Dollar Tree, Dollar General, and Five Below, things like that, are no longer so much dollars, and that they can raise up their dollars, and not just under a dollar anymore. Nobody is under dollars. There's no more 99-cent stores, no more longer everything under 99 cents. But Dollar Tree is doing what it can to maintain its averages. A market price at $96 right now is fairly good for if you're trying to get in on this one. This is not a cheap stock to get into, but it's one that should survive a bit. One that caught my attention is one that's been in my radar for forever. Back when I was in the Air Force 30 odd years ago, Micron was our main source of computers we bought for the project I worked with. We had a major deal at Micron. So Micron Technology is something that I keep an eye on and have been for a while. The stocking, if you will, today closing about $3 higher at 104.95, or closing at 106.88 right now is down because of the after hours trade. Showing up right there. And Micron, of course, getting this 3.52% a raise for the week, for the day, I should say, amid some monetization positivity with some semiconductors going forward. Everything with semiconductors, everything that's computers, everything computer is having a day today. Micron is one that had a big raise on the day. If you want to get a cheaper stock, $104 right now on Robinhood, whatever it is in the morning, is a great way to get on this one. Also, one called Atlassian Corporation PLC with a ticker price of TEAM had some great gains on the day. Hopes if I spell it right, I guess. Team, where Atlassian increased by 3.44%, closing today at 218.17. Right now is down a couple bucks in after hours. And they increased, reflecting investor optimism in software stocks. This is a software stock, a holding company which engages in providing team collaboration and productivity software. So if you want to get into something like this, 215, a good price for a stock right now. Nothing outlandish, but getting on this one as a stock. It's basically for the day did fairly well. Let's do some year. Move it to year. So for the past 52 weeks, this is how it's looked so far. So it's down since February, but not quite down towards its lows from a year ago today, or basically where it was a year or so ago, up a bit. So you bought this a year ago, you're so far in the positive. Tesla is a massive loser for the day, and we're not saying that because we have disdain for Elon Musk. The back and forth for Tesla in the past couple of days has been something, because essentially Musk leaving the government work at Doge has been one thing, although people thought, oh, he's back to work, things are better. But the public spat back and forth, including Elon Musk complaining about the tax credits for EVs being pulled out of the big, beautiful bill, became an issue. This is the day trade for the day. It is down on the day 14%, 14.3%, closing officially at 284.70 right now, down more in after hours. And the year to date, or the year on this one, 52 weeks on this one, has it essentially up about $102. So it's up from where it was a year or so ago, down from its high, which was in December, which was around $479 when everything was grand, but now about half that, if you will, going forward. Tesla's had some issues, although it's still on the rise from having a dip a few months back. It is dealing with some things going forward. I think the president's Everything Computer helped out selling the cars on the lawn. But right now, with the spat back and forth, it's losing bits and pieces, chunks of what it is right now. In the whole, it will probably survive much bigger than we all may want to, based on our feelings on Mr. Musk. Planeteer has been in the news lately, Planeteer Technologies, and it closed about 7.27% lower at $120.52, $120.56 over broader tech sector weakness. So we've talked about positive momentum in semiconductors, tech in general being sort of down, and this is what it looked like for the day, going starting off about 129, ending about 118 right now after hours, still going down. For the year, it is up $96. So Planeteer is pretty big. A lot of talk about Planeteer and having contracts to track us people in the actual real world by the government. Planeteer Technologies engages in business of building and deploying software platforms that serve the central operating systems for its customers. It split serves there. So that's because I got it big in there a little bit. So we'll work on getting the platform so I can actually read these screens in the future. We'll do that going forward. And Costco also losing a day, which one wouldn't think so, but it's losing based off of the major sort of retail factor things happening around right now. Retail being a big deal and having issues, it dropped 3.75% to $1,012.22 on the day, back up a bit, about $2 in the actual aftermarket's rise. So it's going up a little bit, but losing $41 or so on the day at the moment as it stands. Costco is maybe where you shop to get your $1.50 hot dog combo with the soda, because it's never reason that one. But a wholesale group that engages in providing operations for members and warehouse services, selling wholly from subsidies. They have their own brands of things. They have other people's brands of things, large volumes. Plus the deli section, the meat section, the bakery section, the things they sell for instant meals is, bar none. We go often to Costco at least once every 2 weeks to grab something for a quick meal. And in between those things, I like to go get things like snack type stuff to put in the refrigerator for my 13-year-old to just cook on her own while she's here. But for summer vacation, she's here a lot by herself, so she can cook something and not have to, go do anything major. But we have it so far ready made to go. And of course, chips as the things for the year. Costco still up. And it's up about $181, about 21% for the year. But for the day, it's dropping slightly because of retail dealings. And the active, let's go to Intel first. Intel Corporation on the NASDAQ was down about 0.99%, almost down to 1%, but high trading volume on the day, and it closed on the day at $20.05. And after hours right now is sitting at about 1988. Of course, let's go to Nebius Group NV. Something you may not have heard of is one that just popped up as the active trader on the day with a lot of action out there. If you've not heard of this one, this is maybe one that you may need to learn on and see if it's something that may need to join your portfolio. If you've heard of it, maybe you need to get rid of it. It traded one of the most active traded stocks and reflected increased investor interest in the stock. This is a technology company that provides infrastructure and services to AI builders worldwide. With that, it's up on the day. Right now, the day up is $6.91 or so. So says the actual work here on Robinhood. On the year, down a bit in after hours. On the year, a fairly brand new investment, something that came through. It is now sitting the year. It's up $25 or 134% of the year. So from where it started, it's doing things. Now you see here from when it was essentially launched, and then the big old bump, and then getting yourself right again for Nebius Group. This is one you want to look into. Check it out. Do your research. It's fairly cheap at about $45 right now. So see if it's something you want to get into. And First Majestic Silver Core is trading symbol is AG, or like the symbol of silver. Silver is a big deal. Silver and gold. You can never go wrong with silver and gold. It may not seem like an easy to trade stock or easy to trade commodity once it happens, but when the zombie apocalypse happens, when these FedEx or these Amazon robots start delivering packages to us and actually knock on our doors and basically take us out and have us lose access to our actual digital wallets, it may be silver, maybe gold bars from Costco, maybe diamonds, what's left in our rings, that will get us through this world. Elevated activity today, closing up 15.2% at $8.38. If this is First Majestic Silver, it's $8.40 or so right now in after hours. For the year to date, they are essentially where they ought to be. They're up about $1.70 for the past year. Of course, First Majestic Silver Corp engages in the production, development, and exploration and acquisition of minerals, properties, silver, and such. So if you're looking for a cheap silver stock to get into, this is one I'm going to keep posted on my radar and watching for a few days just to hold on to this. This one I don't think is going to make very much money anytime soon, but for my portfolio, for my work, essentially, I look at something that looks interesting to me, something that's going to hold steady for a while. So I'm putting money into it. So the little bits it creates will be there when I want to pull it out. It won't lose very much, but it will gain more in time. And I look for things that actually produce dividends. And so I think our next actual product will be a newsletter or some sort of video listing that does stocks that are producing dividends fairly soon, so you know what's happening, get on the time frame. Because I look for stocks in my basic portfolio world, I look for stocks that are fairly inexpensive. I look for stocks that will provide us with a dividend, and things that essentially, if they're low cost and provide dividends, as they rise up as just within pennies, you get more in the investment because I can buy more out the front. There are very many stuff in my portfolio that are very expensive. I actually own Berkshire Hathaway A and B stock until they took away the fractional shares. Obviously, I don't have $10,000 for a share, so that I sold back off and distributed into some smaller stocks as well. But I still own some Berkshire Hathaway B because I'm going to follow Warren Buffett till he officially knocks off and gets done with this thing, and the whole thing does whatever, because it has made me money in the 2 years or so that I've held on to it. It has been an expensive buy, but it keeps going up. It keeps getting the value going forward. As I said, my actual trading style, which I think I'll probably produce into a blog post or put up here into the listing here, along with a link to getting to the newsletters, is very simple. It's very boring. I buy things I want to hold on to for a while. I buy things that interest me, things that I like, things that are not going to make me upset. Some things that are a bit on the wilder side, if you will. I do have stock in DraftKings, which was kind of controversial, but I bought it at a point where it was low. I lost a bunch of money on it when it tanked about a year or so ago. Now it's back up. It's doing fine. I'm holding on to it because I do work in the media space. I do work in the sports space for other projects. DraftKings, at the time when all of these sports properties were all having some sort of betting aspect, I wanted something simple to get into, and DraftKings was there. It's there. It's not going away. They are doing their best to keep things regulated well. So DraftKings, they're there. I owned Sam Adams for a while, but when I bought it more like I said, I'm just gonna buy some beer thing, and I bought it because I like Sam Adams, the beer, and I held on to it for quite some time, and it essentially lost me money for years. I essentially sold it within the last 6 months for the loss, and now I don't own any alcohol stocks at the moment. I do own a bunch of other beverages. I own Coke and Pepsi, oddly enough. In those cases back there. So I'm buying things that I like. I'm buying things I'm planning on holding for a while. I'm looking for things that if I like it, if it's at a high price, I'll buy it, a big piece of it, and then I'll put more money into it piece by piece just over time. If I see something that's interesting, especially if I like it and it's a low cost thing, I'll buy as many shares as I can and watch it as it hopefully goes up or down. If it stays consistently down, I'll eventually get rid of it because it's not going to do me any good. Losing pennies at a fast pace is not very fun as well. I will buy stocks that, say, interest me, stocks that look interesting, and things that are going to keep around for a while. And the biggest thing I'm looking for are things that produce dividends. So if I see something that produces dividends, I will do that. Right now, the things that really interest me, that if I see something, I'll go deeper into, are some of the tech stocks, because I'm late on the market there. Once I got into NVIDIA, because it was shooting up for the people who were buying NVIDIA for the AI chips when it was a thing. I bought some of that, and it's riding right now. But something I'm always looking into is real estate stocks, REITs type things, or funds that deal with real estate sort of stocks, or some directly into those. In fact, I lose money on many of those, but they actually provide dividends. So they actually provide more stock over time on things like that. Utilities, on local, smaller utilities, because they usually survive by offering dividends. I keep up with those so that even if I'm not making as much money on the daily action, I'm gaining more leverage as I gain more dividends. Dividend stocks are what I fall in love with. So I will write that up in some semblance that makes more sense and put it on the website so you can see my actual progress. But there's stocks that are things that will catch my attention, I seem to like. Stocks that are relatively cheap, not so much penny-ish, but relatively cheap, so I can buy a lot of them and see how they ride back and forth. Stocks that provide dividends, and so that it grows on those levels. And whatever sector that is kind of catching my eyes right now, investments in real estate is always a good one, because I can't seem to do well with actual real estate. So I'll invest in some sort of bond or some stock or some sort of group that is buying real estate. That's looking for right now. And the only thing I have that's recurring right now is the triple Qs, QQQ. Every so often, or every month, I'll have something for a savings of the month that is the recurring investment, and then the things I kind of go back and forth on bit and pieces. Right now, I'm acquiring lots in the triple Qs, and so that's there, and it's what's gaining. The other thing that I'm really interested in is things that are acquired are dealing with athletics and sports, especially some deal to a sports team. I own a piece in one of the shares, the K version for that owns the Atlanta Braves. I own a piece of Madison Square Garden because of the Knicks. I'm buying into one of the Formula One stocks. I'm looking into buying that one as well. Things that have something to do with athletics and sports and things like that, I will get into. Not so much just because they have the naming rights on a building, but things that actually contribute to some sort of sports level. I own a little Under Armour for a while because it made sense, and then I traded it off for something else going forward. At some point in time, I'll provide for you the 10 top stocks in the portfolio, so you can see what my stocks are doing and give you some upside on those. And of course, how I do my investing advice, the things I'm looking for going forward. This is the very first recording, very first live for this. There are apparently no people on this channel. I know that. And so I didn't expect anyone to watch this, but now I have a transcript. Now I have something to work with. Now I have things to actually work on. So that's how it goes. This will stay up for a while. Maybe I'll go away once I get better or get some viewers, but this will work for the moment. I'm Jay Clifton Payne. I am the proprietor of More Better Media LLC, and what we provide there is the edutainment that you're looking for. Things that will enlighten you, things that will inform you, things that are engaging to you, things that will entertain you, things that you will learn from. Hopefully not just funny stuff that gets you giggles, but things that you will learn and grow from. Very Boring Investing Advice is one of those options. I have other websites that have various workings of good, bad in content and good, bad in providing content based off of the fact that I have a day job that is very demanding, and I have a family that likes to see me and do stuff with me, ironically enough. So as I can provide these things here, these newsletters are mostly, and this newsletter for stuff is mostly info based, so I can do some quick looks and pull research and pull data, and the AI can help me craft things into form so it's easy to produce. The blog posts a little bit harder to do. I do use AI to help me edit them for clarity and for grammar, things like that. But doing the research and bits and pieces for those things take time. I do them essentially. I'll take a couple days at the beginning of the month and write out a bunch of things on a Saturday and Sunday, write them out, clear them up, get them posted so the month is cleared. Now we're working on doing more things that are video, more things that are interactive audio, and more things that you might want to actually get involved in. So we'll see how that works. Less rambling, more stuff. The way to be boring and make money is to make that money by doing boring things. Very simple advice. Buy some stocks. Let them sit for a while. If they don't do well for the time frame you want to use for your engagement, sell them off. Buy something else in the investment, or hold the money for a bit based on how you're doing it. Robinhood allows you to hold on to money in a savings account that offers you in Robinhood Gold a higher interest rate for your savings, and have a separate account for your investing, so going back and forth, so they don't have to mingle back and forth for each other. And it's just a matter of having money available for buying the stock you want to, buying the bond you want to, buying the ETF you want to, buying that crypto. I have some money in crypto that's basically so I can see how it's working. It makes no money per my investment. Your mileage may vary. So let's do the wrap up for Very Boring Investing Advice for this day, for the 5th of June, 2025. I'm Jay Clifton Payne. No real disclaimer, no real close. Not sure how these things go. I always ramble to get these out, but this is one that was a first shot here for Very Boring Investment Advice. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you're watching this, hopefully you're getting something out of this from the advice, from the newsletters, from the actual stock that we're picking to talk about, from the blog post that we have on saving and investing and some else going forward. Let us know how we're doing. If you're watching this, just reply to them in the video, and we'll see you in some other form.